Good morning, everybody at YouTube land. This morning, I have taken some pictures of some beautiful flowers. So enjoy. Mwah. Some of you may be interested in how my gardening journey began. As I was thinking about retiring the last few years, I got interested in camping and traveling and looking for a place that would be just right for me to retire. So in my searching of YouTube videos, I noticed different nomads and travelers were also gardeners. And that got me onto different gardening channels. And so I began to learn a lot about gardening. And so I was narrowing it down, what my plans would be once I retired. I became interested in permaculture and food forests. And I was watching videos about food forests in the desert and figuring out what I could do with the piece of property that I already had in Southern California. Over the years, I hadn't really trimmed trees around the property, and I figured that was my first step. That was the first thing I could do. So over there on the other side of the shed, by the trash cans, I began to trim the bottle brush trees. And these big bushes around the house, I began to trim them. The oleander trees gave off lots of extra leaves, so I cleaned them all up. There are also big pine trees and eucalyptus, so I began to gather all of that material up, and I put it right here by the shed. The native dirt on the property was just as hard as cement, and oleander would grow, and these other trees had been planted by the person who first owned this house, and they were all established and growing already. I never had to water any of this. I got online and I ordered seeds that would grow in desert soils. And I didn't spend much money, but I got quite a bit of seed, and I planted it all around the property, all in different places, just to see if anything would grow. Nothing grew, absolutely nothing, except one thing: pumpkins. I had gotten a little tiny pumpkin from the grocery store, and I like to cook them in the microwave and eat them. And I had dried those seeds, and I threw them out near a piece of astroturf I have on my lower level. And lo and behold, they grew, and they actually gave a pumpkin. Well, at least I knew two things that would grow. A few years ago, I had planted some pea plants on my lower level, and they grew well. So I knew that peas and pumpkins would grow in this climate, with this soil, and with this air quality. The next thing I ran across on YouTube was a channel where a man and a lady, I think he's from Australia, were growing food in storage totes on chairs. So when I saw that, I knew, yep, that's for me. That's the kind of gardening I want to do. I don't want to bend over, have to lay in the ground. I want that plant to be right up where I can see what's going on. I'm kind of tall, about 5'8", so I didn't want to be bending down, digging in the garden. So I had my gardening plan. Last year, in the fall, the neighbors over here, just to the left of this shot, cut down 2 big pine trees. And I had heard that wood chips are good to use as mulch. So thinking about my garden bins on chairs, I went down, I asked the tree service guy if I could have some of the wood chips. And he said, sure. I said, just bring them down the driveway. You can drop them right there. So I was going to the store one day, and when I got home, they had left the wood chips. Funny thing though, they had left the entire dump truck load on my property. I spent the next few weeks spreading out those wood chips all over. And oh, what a difference it made. It settled the dust around here. It kept down the weeds. It's just been absolutely wonderful. This is where I had my original pile of leaves and branches just piled up. So this has been here for 2 years. And I just dug down in here today with a stick. And I'd say it's about 3 or 4 inches down. Some of the leaves are broken up down in there pretty well. It doesn't look like compost that I see other places, but that's what 2 years in this climate with this amount of rainfall, that's what it does. Because I got far enough down so I could actually see there. See that different colored dirt right there? That's the native soil. And it's not breaking down as fast as a lot of people I see on YouTube, but this is what I have on my property. Cover it back up. Okay. Now, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to dig down under this the wood chips over here, and I'm going to see how far it goes. That is about, let's see, that's about maybe an inch. That's maybe an inch before it gets to the native soil. Or we should say the native cement. So that's what's happened here in about 8 months. Not much, but the wood chips have been keeping the dust down. I know it holds moisture when we did get some rain, and we'll just have to see what it does over the hot, hot summer. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys following along with me. Put your comments in underneath here. Put some comments about your gardens, what you're growing. I think it's so interesting, all the beautiful plants that God has created for us to enjoy here on the earth, and how He's put inside the hearts and the cells of these plants such beautiful creatures. He's put inside of them just to grow and to grow and to keep on keeping on. So we'll be like the trees planted by the rivers of water. That's what it says in the Bible. People who believe in God, believe in Jesus, and walk in His ways. We're going to be like trees planted by the rivers of water. Yeah. Adios. Be sure and like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the bell. Mwah. Bye-bye.